Hello everyone! I'm Buford MC, and welcome back to GregTech New Horizons. I hope you're all doing well today. So, today I want to focus on food, and specifically I want to get some better foods. And the way we're going to do that today is we're going to try and utilize the windmill, which we have been working towards for the last couple of episodes, and I want to get some bread today. Now, true, we have had a bit of bread already, but that bread we got from actual chests scattered around the world. Today we're going to make bread for the first time, and we're going to use it for quite a few things. So what we're going to do is we're really just going to try and mass produce bread today. And using bread, we're going to be able to do quite a few things. So let me show you what I mean. So if I look up the recipe for bread, first of all, you will see it's not the same way as it would normally be. You can't just put the wheat together to get bread. But once we actually get bread, it has quite a few uses. As you can see, you can smelt it to get toast. And if you look at the actual crafting recipes, there are a ton of them. So bread is something that's going to unlock quite a few recipes for us, and a lot of these foods are really, really good. So my current food situation is I've been using these smoothies. So basically we have all the fruit trees around the base, and what I basically do is I just occasionally go around, pick a few fruits for them, and I go ahead and make some of these smoothies. Now, these smoothies aren't that bad. They give you about a shank and a half of food, and to make these, you basically just use the fruit you want to use, along with a snowball and a soft mallet. So it's not that difficult to do. However, the soft mallet does not have much durability. It uses like 16 or maybe 8 recipes at a time, and I just don't like having to make these over and over again. I could just make a ton at once, but that takes up a lot of not crafting, but chest space, and it's just a bit of a pain because you always have to replace it every time you want to make something, it feels like. But with bread, we should be able to make a lot better food. So that's what we're going to do today. Now, to start, we're going to need more flour. And how we're going to get more flour is I'm actually going to use these hay bales. Now, we can't actually make these right now. As you can see, you need an assembler. We don't have that. But the way I have these hay bales is that there are these little like hay bale structures out in the world. There's like this little person shaped like a hay bale, and it's just all made out of hay bales. So it's pretty good way to get some of this stuff. So we're going to try that in the windmill today to see kind of how much flour we can get, because that is the first step in actually getting to bread. Now, I also want to point out we will be working towards a few quests today as well, and we're going to be focusing on the fishing, farming, and cooking tab. So what we're going to be focusing on are these kind of quests here, and there's a couple of more down here that we're going to try and knock out. So we've already done a couple by getting some wheat and barley, and we also got the flour quest done. But we're going to work on all of that today as well. So let's get into it. So I do see that the sun is setting, so we are going to go to sleep here in just a moment. But we are going to try and get that hay bales going as well. So let's go to sleep as well quickly. We don't want any mobs spawning on us. Looks like we got a little bit of a speed boost from sleeping. I do like those little boosts they give you sometimes when you sleep. So it is quite nice. So what we're going to need is I'm going to need to put this guy back in. Now, I do want to mention that the quest book mentions that this guy doesn't actually, well, it takes durability even when it's in this thing and it's not processing a recipe. Now, I've noticed it's not taking any durability right now. So I don't know if that's different now or something, but yeah, so maybe you can just keep this thing in as long as you want now. So, because I do think this looks a lot better with the actual rotor in. Just looks a lot better that way. But anyways, we can put these hay bales in, and that should just automatically go in, and yeah. That's going to give us quite a bit of flour. 2 stacks and a quarter. Now, it is going to take quite a bit of time, it does look like. Yep. Yeah, it's only 5%, so we'll let that run for now, and we'll run back to the base. Now, I do want to show you a couple of things in the base as well. So I want to show you kind of the hard way, I guess. Not hard way, but the bad way, I guess, to actually make bread before we actually do the good way. Now, normally, we do have a bit of flour actually in here. Normally, to make flour, what you would do is you would mortar down something like barley or wheat. and you get 1 flour from the mortar. Obviously, because we have that windmill, we can get a little bit of a bonus, and we don't need to use the mortar at all for that. But you can actually get it from the mortar if you really want it. Now, the next step in order to make bread is to turn it into dough, this flour into dough. Now, to do that, if you actually look at the recipe of making dough, which I've got right here, it tells you to use 1 water bucket with 1 flour to make 1 dough. You could use 2 fresh waters as well, but you also can just use a bucket, but the fresh water is a little bit cheaper, but we'll use the bucket for this example here. So you just do that, and there you go, you've got 1 dough. So, we can eat that. That is a food we haven't yet eaten, and I probably should eat that, but I will show you what you can do with the dough. You can make a couple of things with this, but with the dough, let's see if I can figure this out. You have to make this kind of dough from 2 doughs, and then that you can smelt down inside of a furnace to get actual bread. So, it's not really efficient, though, if you think about it, but let's eat this so we can get that food taken out. But as you can see, it's just not very efficient. However, there is an alternative way of actually making this dough, and it makes your life so much easier. Now, I'm not going to do it yet because I'm going to want to get at least a stack of flour before I do it, but essentially what you're going to do is you're going to pick up the flour and you're going to toss it into a cauldron full of water, much like we did with the redstone to get actual redstone from the impure dust. You're essentially going to turn this flour directly into dough, and you can just toss this into a cauldron with a stack of it, and you're just going to get a stack of dough, which is amazing. So, that is going to be a much better way of getting bread. So, when you're trying to make bread, when you're trying to make things like dough, don't do this. It's just not worth it. You're wasting water, especially if you don't have an infinite water source or some way of generating water yet, which we don't technically have yet, although we are close. So, don't do this. Try and get the most out of your water at this stage and use this method, which I will do once I actually get the flour from the windmill. Enough flour, at least. Now, another thing I want to show you. Now, this isn't related to bread or anything. This is actually something I meant to mention a couple episodes ago when I was out adventuring. But while I was out adventuring a couple episodes ago, I found something quite interesting. And I found this, the One Ring. Now, it mentions here, the ring whispers to you, promising power, but at what cost? Long-term usage is not advised, can ruin your game if you don't understand what this does. Read the quest. Now, when I did get this, I did actually get a quest, which was, let's see if I can find it, down here. So, we did get a quest for this, so I have seen this before, and as far as I'm aware, it's something that gives you a whole bunch of power, but it also gives you some not-so-pleasant things if you wear it for too long, so we don't really want to mess around with this, but it was something interesting that I found in a chest a little while back, and I hadn't mentioned it before. So we do get a little nice blue coin for that quest, which I guess is kind of a problem because my little coin storage area is only set for 2 different types of coins, so I guess for now I can put that back in the chest over here. Probably the best thing to do. Let's put that in there for now. So, we are going to try and get into that, but let's see how that windmill's coming along. I think this area is starting to really come together a bit more now. It's looking real nice. We've got our animals here. We've got crops here. I do still need to work on that side over there a bit. But yeah, it's coming along. We've got our rubber trees up there. See how you're doing. Oh, almost done. Alright, that's good. Should be there in a couple of seconds, it looks like. And we should get, according to this, we'll get 2 1/4 stacks of flour. So that's quite good. And that should come out into here. But as you can see, while this thing is running, it is taking the durability. And it just stopped, which means I think it's done, right? Yep. So I don't think this thing does take durability damage when you're not running a recipe, which could be quite good. But there it is, there's our flour. And now what we can do is we can start making bread. Or at least getting closer to it. So let's head back over and start doing that. So here we go. So now we can do this, and this is such a satisfying thing to do, I feel like. But there we go, we can just chuck in a stack of flour. And as you can see, just like that, we just got 2 stacks of dough, just like that. So that's quite good. quite a good thing to do. So with this dough, what we can do is a couple of things. We don't just have to make this kind of dough. There's actually a couple different kinds, if I'm correct. Let's take a look and see if we can figure that out. There's quite a few recipes, so you have to look around, but let's see if I can find it. So we have this sugary dough. That's one type of dough. We have this dough, which is actually a 3 dough. So you put 3 doughs around to get the longer dough, so a baguette shape. We have the normal one, that's the bread shape. And then we have this one, which is in a bun shape, which is only 1 dough. So there's different kinds of things you can make with this. But for now, let's follow the quests, actually. So let's actually claim these as well quickly. We can get a steel mortar. That's quite nice to have, isn't it? Let's take that. And we did get this quest as well knocked out, which we can get those. I think I'll just take the loot bag for that one. Alright, so the next quest that we have is to make the actual bread. So we need to make our first handmade bread, and that shouldn't be too difficult. So we can just come here. We'll just take 8 of these, for now at least. And we can go ahead and just smelt these up in the furnaces I've set up over here. So I just filled in a bit of charcoal on these. I don't want to drag creosote oil all the way over from there over to here. So we've got plenty of charcoal, so it's not that bad. So while that's waiting on, let's throw these coins in here. And let's open this loot bag, why not? Ooh, we got a veggie burger. Kind of fitting for what we're doing today. We can just leave that now. So, we are getting our first bits of bread. That's quite good. There's a quest over here as well that we can do. Oh, this is for the baguettes. Let's do that one as well. We need 8 baguettes, so let's do that. There we go. We can put those in there. That's quite good. Yeah, that's coming along right there. Now, there are a couple of other quests I've been trying to look into and getting some of these done as well. The pumpkin pie, I don't actually have many pumpkins. In fact, I think my pumpkins on here, I only have 2 pumpkins. So I might have to start growing some of those soon. Don't actually know why I haven't already. We've got this quest here, which this one actually is doable, it looks like, to make some chicken pot pie and some apple pie. I've got most of that. Let's see. Yeah, we actually do. Let's see what else we need. Potatoes, carrots, dough, sugar. I have sugar here. What does it want us to make? Chicken pot pie and apple pie. Oh, we can do that right now, in fact. Why is that not going in? Oh, that's strange, isn't it? I guess we'll just have to do that manually then. What do you want me to do? You want dough, potatoes, carrots. And obviously the chicken. So there's the chicken pot pie. And then for the apple pie. Yeah, I don't know why that doesn't work with this. Might be the rolling pin, but you cannot shift right click this in. That's strange. Alright, so we need apples, dough, sugar. That's easy enough. Oh, that's some type of food right there. That's actually pretty decent food. It's not too hard to make either. There we go. We can put those right in. Start eating that up. Also go to sleep because it is nighttime again. And now our bread should be done, so that should be another quest, and that's going to be an achievement as well. Get some nice fireworks for that. Quite nice. Here's our baguettes as well. So we are starting to knock out quite a few quests. Now for the baguettes, now these are actually quite good if I'm correct here. We can make these large steak sandwiches and these large bacon sandwiches. And to do that, we can use some of the meats. So I prepared some of this. So what we can do is, I think we do something like this. Maybe it's that? No. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, we do need to put that in inventory too, I think. Oh, you have to slice the baguette. So you slice the baguettes with a knife first. Let's see. I'll get there eventually. How do you do it? You do it like that. There we go. So you slice the baguettes. That should allow us to make these. And we can do the same with the pork chops. There we go, large bacon sandwiches. And that should be another quest. Perfect. That's going to give us some large veggie and large cheese sandwiches. So we're getting quite a few good foods already. That's the bread one, and we can make this one now. So this is just like Mom used to make. So this is to make the apple jelly sandwiches. So we need some apples, sugar, a saucepan. We've got that. We made all those things already. We need some apples. No shortage of those around here. So we need some of the sugar, I think. And let's see. Saucepan to make apple jelly. There we go. And then you just put that in. Let's make sure. Oh no, you need a few other things. Oh, we need butter for this. Oh, it didn't tell you that. I think we can make some of this. Yeah, I think we just need to grab something over here. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, peanuts. Can we use that to make butter? Let's see if we can. We might be able to find a way here. Here we go, peanut butter. Just like that. Just a soft mallet. We can use peanut butter. And we can make the apple jelly sandwich. Yeah, it just doesn't want to work with those for some reason. So how do we make this? Well, we use a knife with the butter and the jelly. Let's see again. Oh, the bread. Oh, we use bread for this. Oh, okay, that's fine. So there you go, apple jelly sandwiches. So that should complete another quest. Yep, there we go. And then we also can make some toast. And that is a matter of just smelting down more bread. So I'll just throw a single piece in there for now. And that should give us our toast. So yeah, that knocks out quite a few quests in here now, all related to bread. So as you can see though, these things give you quite a bit. So that's 5, 5, 4. Bread itself is 1.5. So we're getting quite a few decent foods out of this. There's the toast, that one's 2. So yeah, this is some pretty decent food. And there's that quest. So let's actually claim all this as well. And that's going to give us large veggie sandwiches, large cheese sandwiches. This one here is going to give us, oh, some more food. Blueberry pie, cherry pie, raspberry pie, so even more good food. So we're looking quite well on food now, I'll be honest. This one, there we go. Here's more food. Oh, wow. Cherry jelly, blackberry, raspberry, blueberry, yep, watermelon. My inventory's almost full up. Let's throw all this in here. This is for the not yet eaten foods. Because I'm a little bit full up on stuff. Oh boy, wow. Alright, wow, this has gone quite well today, hasn't it? We're getting a ton of good food. And this is the bread one. Ooh. Get a steel knife, steel mortar, aluminum rolling pin. That one might be tempting because I think our current rolling pin, yeah, this one's not, yeah, that's not good at all. Let's take this one. That's a little bit better at least. And then we can also claim this quest, which is 4 eggs, 2 pumpkins, 4 sugars. I've got a few pumpkins. I can get more from, growing them. Eggs we've got, sugar we've got. Let's take the loot bag and we can just open that up right now. See what we get. And we got gunpowder from a fast food loot bag. Okay, I don't think we want to eat that. So yeah, so that knocked out quite a few things and we've gotten quite a few good foods. Now, this quest I actually did look at. The only problem with this quest I have is I just cannot get onions. I have tried and tried to get onions from these ground gardens, and I've broken quite a few, and I'm pretty much getting everything but onions, I think. So as you can see, I'm just trying to get onions. So yeah, just been trying to do that. I just haven't been able to find them yet. So I will try and get some at some point, but yeah, I can't do that one till then. But anyways, though, so looks like we've gotten pretty much the quest I wanted to get done today done. And yeah, we've definitely improved our food situation. Now, in fact, we've got more food than I know what to do with right now. So that's quite a good situation, I'd say, to have. And I still have the ability to make a ton more bread if I want to. So that's quite good, and I feel like that's a good stopping point for today. So, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you'll come back, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.